Faye, why the heck has this happened? You've really gone and messed up Mom's flower bed now. What? I was only asking you to go out and take care of all the weeds in her flower bed, okay? But tell me, why the heck did you start to yank out all of her very precious flowers from out of there? They were all going to bloom their very best this year, and you ruined all of them. My mom has been the one putting her back into making sure all those flowers would be perfect. Wait a second. Didn't you tell me to go out and pull all the weeds in her flower bed? That's why I went ahead and pulled everything you said to be pulled. Huh? Are you going to blame your failures on your own sister-in-law now? Well, this was my first time ever being asked by you to help you with the garden. So you can't get upset with me for not knowing what is what. And up until today, you had been asking me over and over again, day after day, to help you with your mom's flower bed. So this is all a little bit strange that you're doubling back on what you told me to do before. To be honest, I thought the garden was looking perfectly fine from what you'd done to it, so I was a bit confused as to why you wanted me to pull more plants from it. But I wasn't going to question you because I assumed you knew what you were doing. Well, I never asked you to pull all her flowers, too. You don't even have proof of me saying that to you, so stop trying to blame me. What? Do you have proof of me saying something like that to you before? Did you have a video or something taken of the whole situation that you can use as evidence of what you're claiming? Even a recording of me telling you to pull all those plants? You have nothing, yet you're going to sit there blaming me over what you screwed up? You're the only one that seems to want to blame me for only following through with what you asked me. Now, this isn't even the first time you've started to claim I'm the liar in things. Faye, you are such a useless freaking woman, aren't you? That kombucha Mom had been spending years making into the perfect drink, you threw out. And just last month, you threw away some of Mom's favorite clothing and shoes, right? And that was all done because you asked me to do so. You told me that the kombucha was way too old and that it had mold growing all inside it, and that's why you wanted it gone. And when it came to the clothing and shoes, you said you wanted to declutter her closet, and those were the things you wanted me to toss. And do you have evidence of me telling you to do all those things? You did all of that without me asking you, didn't you? Are you kidding me? You are totally screwed now, Faye. You're supposed to be a good wife to my brother and his family, but all you do is show your hate for our mom. You should have been getting along really well with my mom by now, but instead you totally hate her. I bet that after all this, she's going to tear you a new one. What? And not only will my mom be on you about all that's happened, but so will my brother. I mean, you've been hating on your own mother-in-law and then blaming your sister-in-law for all the terrible things you've done. He's going to find out just how toxic of a wife you are and will probably ask to divorce you. You'd better get started on getting your bags together and then get ready for him to kick you out of the house. Faye, I'd like to talk with you about what happened to the flower bed. Do you have time to talk with me? I am so sorry about what happened today. No matter how it happened, I was the one that pulled all those flowers out. I'll pay for you to get all brand new flowers the next time you go out. You don't have to worry about any of that, all right? We both know that this is all Monica's fault, right? I already know all the details, so you don't have to pay for me to get anything new. What? Monica asked for you to go out and take care of all the plants in that flower bed, right? And she specifically asked for you to clean out the flower bed with my most important flowers, right? Well, listen, Faye, I heard all that conversation through my window. You were around there? I heard that you'd gone out with some of your friends for the day. When I was about to leave the house, my friends told me that they'd be a little late, so I didn't have to go just yet. That's why, at the time, I was still in the house waiting on them to get back with me. And while waiting, I was in the room playing with the cats. Is that right? That's why I was able to hear your guys' conversation through the window. I even heard her saying very rude things to you as well. So don't worry, I'm not upset with you at all. But it is a fact that your most important flowers are all gone now. I'm so sorry about that. It's all fine. It's really all fine. I actually wanted for that flower bed to be cleaned out so that I could plant some new ones. So that's why, when I overheard what she'd asked of you, I didn't come out and stop you. If anything, you helped me out a ton by doing that. Next time, allow me to take you out to eat as a thank you. No, you don't have to. Oh, calm down now. I'd really love to take you out. And I mean to do it as an apology as well. To think that my precious daughter-in-law is being picked on that badly by my daughter? She must be so jealous of you being around her brother so much now that she thinks she can get away with what she's done. I'm really sorry for everything Monica's been doing to you. Has Monica always acted like this? I heard that she's always been really close to her brother for the longest time now, but I didn't think she'd be this bad. The two of them are a bit distant in age, and that might be why she loves him so much. She's even at the age now where she's saying the only men she wants in her life have to be like her brother. She wants them to be like her brother? I was really hoping when she got to this age she'd find someone who'd take her eyes off her own brother, but that time has still not come. I think from now on you should stop coming over to our house to be around her and I. Go ahead and stay back at your place and take some time to enjoy not having her around you. I'd really like to warn her to stop acting like such a toxic mess, but I'm not sure that would help the situation at this moment. Thank you so much for thinking about me, Dina. So while you're away from my house for a while, let's go out once or twice a week for coffee or something. Actually, I've really had an itch to go out to some fancier cafes in town. But at most of those places, all the people that go are really young, and I feel a little self-conscious about someone my age going in there. If I have someone young like you with me, then I'll be a bit more confident. If that's what you want to do, then let's go. I actually really love going to cafes myself. Oh, is that so? Then let's go out the next time you have some time and find a fancy cafe. And as a sorry for my daughter's actions, I'll be the one treating you. Hey, Faye, you can't just run away from me, you freak. Huh? Recently, you haven't been coming over to this house at all, have you? I have a lot of things that I want to ask you to come and do, yet you always have had a reason to say no to me. Well, you asking me to come over and help you out is just you wanting to do more awful things to me, right? I'm not going to allow you to do that stuff to me anymore. Stop messing around. You should just shut the hell up and let me pick on you like a good sister-in-law. After all, you got married to my most favorite man in the world, so you deserve to live with a little bit of harm caused to you. Huh? Yet instead of being picked on all the time, you've been going out with my mom for tea and coffee, right? All while you keep telling me you're too busy to come help me. I'm tired of you leaving me out of everything like that, you idiot. And your mom is the one that told me that when we go out for coffee, just the two of us is fine. If you happen to have any complaints about that, then go to your mom about it. Crap! What the hell has all of my work been for? I have worked so hard to get you and my mom to hate each other, and yet here you both are going out with one another still. And I've heard this from her as well. You and my brother are still proceeding with the plans to have that wedding? It pisses me off that you and my mom are getting along so well. Well, it just so happens that her and I think a lot alike. She's even been willing to help me with things like decorations for the wedding and what kind of dress I should wear. She really seems to like all the things I do, and that's why I've kind of let her run wild with the preparations for the wedding. That's about half of what we talk about now when we get together. No matter how close you become to my mom, I am not going to allow it. And you having a wedding with my brother is definitely not happening. Are you saying that you're against your brother and I having that wedding? Of course I am. Even now, I hate the fact that he even decided to marry you in the first place. But now you both want to have a wedding? I do not want my brother being loved by everyone in front of me. You have to understand how much this all hurts me, right? So hurry up and cancel your plans for that whole disgusting event. Really? If you don't cancel that wedding, I'll do everything in my power to stop it myself. And just because you have my mom's love now doesn't mean you can use her as a way of stopping me either. See what happens? That wedding dress you had all ready for tomorrow is now nothing more than dangling scraps of fabric. I tore it all up into little pieces and threw it in the trash. Now you have no choice but to cancel the wedding tomorrow. What? What are you talking about? What did you just say to me, Monica? I went into your room and took that dress of yours and destroyed it. I heard my brother talking with you on the phone a little while back, and that's where I learned about where you were keeping your dress for the wedding. So all I had to do was get that key to your place from my brother and make my way inside to ruin that dress. I made sure to do it while you were out of the house, and bam! That means you just committed breaking and entering. And the fact that you waited for me to be out of the house? Have you been waiting in front of my place all day long? I have. That's why I woke up this morning around 4 a.m. and then waited outside all day. And when I saw you come running out of there and locking your door behind you, I sprung into action. It's all said and done now, though, as your dress is completely ruined. This is all... I can't even comprehend things you're saying anymore. I didn't think things would get this bad. Huh? The reason all this got so bad was because of you, Faye. You deserve every bit of it, and I hope you know that. I told you way before to cancel the wedding you wanted to have with my brother, right? But you totally ignored what I'd asked and continued to work on the plans for your wedding. That's why all of this is happening to you now, you freaking idiot. And so that's why your stupid-looking dress is all torn up in the trash now. Now you have no other choice but to cancel that wedding. That dress was your mom's. Huh? I had that dress all put together for her as a surprise. Hearing that you've gone and tore it all up and thrown it out, what am I going to do? Wait a second. Hold on. What do you mean that was my mom's dress? That was your wedding dress in there, right? And that's where you're wrong, Monica. That dress that was in my place was the dress we put together for your mom to wear tomorrow. She's been married for 40 years now, and tomorrow was going to be your brother and my way of celebrating that with her. What? A way of celebrating her? When I was having coffee with her one time, she told me all about it. She told me that she's been married for almost 40 years now and never actually had a wedding. Your mom happened to have your brother just after getting married, and so your parents never had the time to have a wedding after their marriage. I've heard about something like that from her. But how does that have anything to do with your wedding also being about celebrating her marriage? Well, she had been working with us to plan it all out, right? And while doing so, she seemed to want to wear a wedding dress herself since she never had the chance to. We heard that she wanted to have some pictures taken with your dad during our wedding to sort of have that feel of being at her own wedding. So when we heard all of that, your brother and I wanted to make the day special for her. And after talking with your brother about it for a bit, we decided we'd have a surprise ready for her. And this year is her 40th anniversary to your dad, right? What? Your mom was so happy to hear that we had things planned out for her and your dad. But she let us know that she was now too old for anything fancy, so she just wanted us to prepare a cheap dress for her. However, we wanted her to feel special about her day, and that's why we went through all these lengths to get her an amazing and expensive dress. Actually, I happen to be really good at working with clothing, so that dress was in part made by me. I had finally finished all the improvements I wanted to make on it and planned to surprise her with it tomorrow. But now you've told me you've ruined that whole dress and tossed it. No. I didn't know anything about that. About you and planning on making the wedding about Mom and Dad as well. I didn't know that. I didn't even know you knew how to sew. That's not going to make for a good enough excuse now. First, you need to apologize to me. Not only did you break into my house, but you ruined the dress I worked so hard on improving. So stop it with any excuses and apologize. Shut up! It's your fault for making me think that was your dress. Huh? Now you listen here. If you had planned on making your wedding about my mom and dad as well to celebrate their marriage, then you tell me about that as well. Something like that should be handled by all my parents' children. Yet you both took it upon yourselves to do all of that for them and never telling me a thing. It's because you do such terrible things like that that the dress was ruined. And I told Faye not to tell you a dang thing, Monica. I didn't even want you to be a part of this, so quit your whining and apologize. Is that you, Mom? I cannot believe you're my kid. It's the day before their wedding and you've gone and committed a crime? And you expected them to come tell you about all of this? If they had, your only reaction would be telling them to leave me alone and cancel their wedding. That's why I asked your brother and Faye not to tell you anything, because you would have ruined it for all of us, like you've done just now. I wanted that to be a surprise from the newlyweds on their day of celebration. Wait a minute, Mom. Why are you, of all people, using Faye's phone to talk to me? Because I'm with her right now getting coffee. She asked me to come out with her so that we could talk about the wedding one last time before it happens. Her husband is at work all day today, so she wanted to run through all the plans with me instead. So we talked about all that for a bit and have since then been relaxing and drinking coffee together. You guys are together today as well? We were so happy to try this new cafe and you've come and ruined it all for us. And hearing that you went and ruined that whole dress Faye worked so hard on as a surprise for me, how are you going to take responsibility for this one, Monica? You can ask me that all you want, but I don't care. I just happened to make a small mistake is all. And you said you were too old for expensive dresses, right? That's right. Hence why we bought one worth around $5 online. But Faye has been working so hard on that dress, making it look as though it's worth thousands. I've been looking forward for so long now to see how amazing the dress would look when she was done with it. $5? I can pay you that all right now. So stop getting so upset with me, Mom. Just have Faye get another dress for you and work on sewing it up all over again. Have her get another dress for me and do it all again? You have no idea what you're talking about, do you? Do you not have an ounce of knowledge in your head about how frickin' difficult it is to sew up a dress to make it look as though it's worth thousands of dollars? I will not allow my own daughter to say such thoughtless and rude things like that again. Faye worked so hard on that dress to make sure it'd be ready in time for me, and still look leagues better than when we bought it. There is not another woman in this world as nice as her who'd be willing to do such a hard task. And here you are hurting that perfect woman. I want you to know that I'll never forgive you for what you did today, you brain-dead child. Brain-dead child? I've already talked to you about this before. I understand that you really like your brother a lot, but that you need to quit it with being so jealous. As his little sister, the best way to show how much you love your brother is to celebrate his marriage to his wife. I told you about that before, right? And you replied by saying you were shocked, but would be willing to celebrate with the rest of us. Well, what the hell was all this about then? You lied to me about being a good little sister and hurt your brother's wife's feelings. We don't need liars like you who find joy in ruining family events in our family. I don't even want to see your face anymore, so don't even bother coming back home ever again. You don't want me coming back home? Wait, Mom! You should be happy to see that your cute little daughter is so jealous of your son. I do think I messed up by making a mistake and ruining your wedding dress for tomorrow, but come on, Mom, I'm still your cute baby girl. You can't kick me out of the house for something as simple as this. Something as simple as this? Is that what you've just said to me? Well, what about you having Faye pull all my flowers out of that flower bed? And what about you asking her to throw away my kombucha? And what about all my clothes and shoes you had her throw out? Listen here, you. I know about everything you've had Faye do, and about how you blamed everything on her for it. That's all a part of why I want you gone, and I'm going to make sure you never come back to me. Why do you know about all of that? This must mean that Faye went and told you, didn't she? That witch needs to learn her place as my brother's wife. She has no right trying to become good friends with you, Mom. Enough! Mom, everything she told you about is all a lie to get you to try and be upset with me. She doesn't even have evidence of me asking her to do all of those things for me, right? That witch just hates you and wants to try and throw me under the bus for it all. I have evidence. She just didn't want to say anything to you about it. I've had a camera up in both the living room and out back by the garden. What? Cameras? Recently, things like that have really taken off on YouTube, where people record their everyday lives and will upload them for some views. So I did just that and put cameras up all over the house. And not just cameras, but microphones too, so that I can also catch good audio. You were able to catch everything on those? I was. Every single word and action. All of the actions you took against your sister-in-law, Monica. This has to be a joke. The dress that Faye is planning to wear for her wedding is a simple rental. So it was never going to be at her house before the wedding, and she'll have that wedding tomorrow. But you are not allowed to come to that wedding, and we'll make sure security knows that. You can spend the whole day cleaning up all your things at the house and leaving before we get home. It's all your fault, and now I'm getting kicked out of the house because of you. And I won't even be able to come to the wedding today to see my brother in his fancy tuxedo. Why did you do this to me? I don't know. Maybe you deserve to have all this happen to you? What? What is that attitude? You have no right talking to your sister-in-law like that. Well, starting today, I am going to talk to you like this because that's how people have to talk to children that act out. I wanted to become good friends with you since you're my sister-in-law, but I can see that you're not old enough yet to understand that. So starting today, I'm going to react to you the way you've been acting towards me in order to give you a taste of your own medicine. Just because you got to have your wedding today, it doesn't mean you can start acting all tough. I am not going to let you get away with this. So you'd better be prepared for what comes next.
Oh, so scary. Well then, I guess you'll never be able to see me or Faye ever again. You will never get to see your brother that you love so much ever again. So good luck dealing with that one.
What?
I heard all about you from Mom. You have been trying so hard to do things behind my back to make you seem like a little angel, and my wife like a demon. Faye never talked to me about any of it, because she thought you were just going through a phase.
Is this really you, Ben?
I'm really happy to see that you love me so much as your brother, but I didn't think that you being so close would cause you to become so toxically jealous of Faye. Therefore, to make sure you never come near her again, you won't be seeing the two of us ever again. We are both going to put a lot of distance between ourselves and you.
Wait a minute, Ben. There's no reason for even you to want to run away from me.
Oh, come on now, Monica. I can't deal with your crap anymore. You really think I'm going to let you continue to pick on my beautiful wife like that? For the rest of time? I think this is the perfect time for us to go our separate ways. So thank you for being such a witch.
I don't want you leaving me. I don't want to lose my only brother.
Then get your butt over here and apologize to Faye. I want you on your hands and knees apologizing for every single thing you did to her. Can you do that for me?
What?
Thank you so much for being a close and cute little sister to me. But how things are with you now, you're not cute anymore, and you shouldn't be acting like such a baby. It's actually creepy as hell. And the fact that you still get so jealous that you begin to harm others over me, it's wrong. So very wrong for someone your age.
What do you mean wrong? I have loved you ever since I first laid my eyes on you, Ben. And now you're married to someone that isn't me. What's so bad about me being jealous of her having you more than I can have you?
I'm starting to agree with Mom and Faye. You need to find yourself a hobby or something. Then, you'll probably forget about me, and maybe even find yourself a man of your own.
I can't do that. I've never wanted any hobbies, and that's why I don't have any friends right now.
Then I guess your only option is to stay a lonely person forever, and die that way. You're never going to be cared for by Mom and Dad again. And you'll never see Faye or I again either. So go ahead, and get started on your life of being forever alone, will you?
Ben!
You may not have noticed, but I'm very upset with you. When I heard that you wanted to ruin my wedding with Faye by destroying her dress, I just lost it. Have a good one, Monica. I hope someday you'll be able to forget about me and find a man of your own that'll want to be around you.
Monica ended up being kicked out of her parents' house, and she's now living in a small apartment by herself in town. But it seems that not having her brother around her anymore has really taken a toll on her. So when she gets home from work, she just sits on the couch staring blankly at her TV that she never switches on. As for Dina, she's told me that she'd really love to have a wedding of her own held in her garden. So right now, we're both working hard on her garden to make it all beautiful for the day we throw her a wedding here. Even Ben is working with us to make sure things are set up for her big day. And he's even started to call catering companies and helping hands to get the show on the road. And while that's all going on and I have a day off from the garden, I'll watch Dina's YouTube channel of her working in her garden while sewing up a new pattern on her next wedding dress.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey, Ellie, I'm going to take my daughter over to your house, so make sure to take good care of her. Ellie, could you please answer me when I text you? Sorry, I was getting ready to leave and left my phone in the other room. What do you mean you're bringing Julia over to my house? Well, I had no idea about this, but apparently she doesn't have school today. Because it's the school's 50th anniversary after its establishment. She's saying that she needs lunch. But I've already scheduled lunch with the girls. You know what I'm trying to say. No, I really don't. Well, I've been longing for this day for a really long time. I mean, who wouldn't? It's a buffet with cake and all kinds of sweets. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to take my daughter out for lunch and look after her until I come back. I'm sorry for not being able to help, but I have a shift at work in an hour. So I won't be able to look after Julia today. What? Well, that's too bad, because I already sent Julia on her way to your house. What? I am telling you I can't look after her for today. I am literally about to leave. You say work, but it's literally a part-time job, isn't it? It's not like you're going to keep that job forever, so you shouldn't feel bothered about taking a day off. I need to go because my contributions to the family savings are necessary to keep up with the level of living that we currently have. But you don't even have kids to feed. Haven't you heard from your brother that he moved jobs quite recently? He's starting as an entry-level employee, so his salary has gone down since his last job. But that doesn't change the fact that you two don't have kids, right? I'm sure you don't spend nearly as much as I do having to feed my kids. Look, I'm sure you could manage to take one tiny day off of your low-paying job. It's not just the money. If I suddenly take a day off out of nowhere, then it might ruin my image from my boss and colleagues. Seriously? I'm starting to feel bad for you, honey. You have to act like a goody two-shoes at your own workplace? I'd suffocate if I were ever to have to work at a place like that. I mean, not that I'd ever know how you feel since I married an elite engineer at a mega tech company. If you feel bad for me, then it would really help for you not to leave your child over at our house so often. Why are you getting so worked up? Do you hate Julia or something? Of course not. Julia is an amazing girl. Then why are you complaining? I'm just letting my infertile sister-in-law have a taste of what it's like to raise a child, since she can't have one of her own. This is all out of the kindness of my heart. Why don't you show a little more appreciation for my efforts to make you feel better about yourself? Wow. And I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but you really did let our family down when we found out that you couldn't have kids. I mean, George is the only boy in the family, so he would have been our only hope to continue our bloodline. But thanks to you, he failed his mission. So I'm letting you prove your worth to the family by giving you a job. Be grateful. Such a useless wife. I feel so bad for poor George. We both know that you're just using me to your advantage because you don't want to do the work yourself. Oh, please. Look, as I said at the beginning of this conversation, I can't take care of Julia today. So just call her back to your house. No can do. I've sent her over and that's final. I'm right about to step out of the door, so she won't be able to unlock the door until I come home. Take good care of her. How could you be so irresponsible? Wouldn't it be irresponsible to abandon your niece and leave for work? Which is more important, your niece or your job? It's not a matter of which is more important to me. Before even discussing anything, she's your own daughter, isn't she? Then take responsibility for the life that you created yourself. My husband is out on a business trip right now. I'm taking care of my daughter all by myself. Can't I go on a little lunch break and have a little bit of fun with my friends? I wouldn't mind at all if it were once in a few months. You send Julia to our house without notice 2 or 3 times every month. If I could, then I would send her over every week. You know, I don't get much alone time when my husband is in town, so it's my chance to have quality time by myself. Julia is always bothering me and chains me down from having my alone time. Seriously? Even if that thought came to your mind, you shouldn't say that aloud as a mother. Is it really my fault that I'm tired of her, though? Even my own mother-in-law became cold all of a sudden when she found out that my baby was going to be a girl and not a boy. She left in the middle of the gender reveal. I guess everyone wants a boy so that their bloodline continues on. You haven't told Julia about that story, have you? I'm not that bored. I have more to do than tell stories to my kid. Thank God. But seriously, though, ever since that girl was born, all that's changed is that I have more chores to take care of, and that's it. You know, if I'd known that it was going to be a girl, then I probably wouldn't have given birth. If she wasn't here, then I would have tons of time to go out partying like when I was single. I can't believe you just said all of that. How could God ever allow someone like this to become a mother and not me? I think God chose not to make you a mother so that you could babysit my kid. I hope you have fun with Julia. Well then, I'm sure she'll be there soon, so take good care of her. She hasn't eaten lunch yet, so make sure to give her some. Oh, and as a matter of fact, feed her some dinner too. Thanks so much, XOXO. How many times do I have to tell you that I have work today? Well, it's not like I can change my plans this suddenly. I'll text you when I'm coming home, so make sure to take Julia home by then, all right? Well then, see you. Wait, Haley! George! Haley did it again. She just sent Julia over and left.
What's the problem with that?
You know that I have work today. And she won't even read my texts or answer my calls, so I think she has me on mute right now. Could you please call her and convince her?
Convince her to what? If she had to make Julia come over, then wouldn't that mean that she had a valid reason to do so?
I mean, if you consider lunch with her friends as a valid reason.
Haley's been really busy taking care of her house and raising Julia. Why don't you cooperate a little and just let her have some fun once in a while?
Really? Once in a while? She's been sending her child over to us without notice over and over again for the past few months. I get that we all need a break once in a while, but that doesn't mean that she gets to disregard our needs whenever she wants.
2 or 3 times a month counts as once in a while. And you can't give birth to a child of our own anyways. You'd never understand how difficult it is to do her job as a mother. So why don't you cooperate a little and take some weight off of her shoulders?
All right. Then why don't you take a day off from work and come take care of her?
Are you dumb or something? I'm taking care of an infertile, useless wife like you. I'm working a job that I don't even like for you. If you want to talk back to me, then I suggest that you do so after you start earning more than me with your part-time job.
The only reason that I can't make more money than I already do is because you want to qualify for the dependency deduction policy. If you would allow me to, then I would be making more by now.
Yeah. You can make all the excuses that you want. That doesn't change the fact that you'll never make more money than me. As a matter of fact, since you can't even give birth, the only way that you can make yourself useful is to do the work around the house.
Oh, so that's all I am to you? Seriously?
If you haven't noticed by now, I've been going through a lot after changing jobs. I don't have time for your nonsense. So why don't you solve some of your own problems on your own? I'm sure even your useless self will be able to do it.
Why do you have to word it like that?
Whatever. I don't have time for you. Just do whatever Haley's asking you to do. Think of it as my sister blessing you with an opportunity to get to feel like you're raising a child of your own.
You sound exactly like your sister right now.
That's great. I have to get back to work, so don't contact me until I tell you to. And also, excessive complaining is one of the top reasons for divorce, so watch out. You barely make any money with your job right now, and you don't have any savings. On top of that, you can't even have kids. No guy would want you, and you wouldn't be able to sustain yourself, so watch your mouth when you talk to me.
How could you say that to your own wife?
The only reason you're still my wife is because you're obedient. So I suggest that you shut your mouth and listen to my sister. Or else I'm gonna lose any reason to keep you around. Besides, Julia's a very common, unproblematic kid. You probably won't even notice that she's there.
But
I'm done with this conversation.
why won't you bother to listen to me? I had to tell my boss that I couldn't show up last week, too. I'll lose my job if I keep doing this. George? Hey, Ellie, what are your plans for the 15th to the 22nd of next month? I just have work like always. Wait, you have work for the whole week? Wow, I could never work like a slave like that. I don't have to go every day, but I still have to show up for a couple extra days to make up for the days I took off to look after your daughter. See, I told you that you could make it work. Well then, I guess that means that you'll be able to make things work for next month too then. What do you mean by make things work? The truth is, I'm gonna go on a family trip with my parents and my brother. A family trip? Yep, we're going overseas. I just finished renewing my passport today. Wait, then why can't you just take your daughter with you? Why would I take my daughter on the family trip? What do you mean? My family is me, my brother, and my parents. No one else counts as family. What? But she's your own daughter. We can't take a kid everywhere we go. Besides, I want to go to bars and parties during the night. And how am I going to hook up with anyone if there's a kid with me? I'm way too young and good-looking for guys to leave alone. That's your reason for leaving your daughter behind with me? What do you think your husband is going to say about that? It doesn't matter. He's always away on business trips anyway. I just tell him that you're constantly asking me if you can have Julia over. Since, you can't have children of your own. Why would you lie about that? Thanks to my explanation, my husband doesn't have a doubt in his mind that Julia always stays over at your place out of mutual agreement. But I've never begged you to let me have Julia over before. So, you should really fix your attitude. You'd never understand how it feels to be a mother anyway. The only way that you can make yourself worth anything is to work for me. So I suggest that you do that. The only way to make myself worth anything? It's already been decided that we're going on the trip. So just give up and be prepared to take care of her for a week. Whatever. Fine. I'll be sure to prepare really well for that. We're about to go to the airport in George's car. I sent Julia on her way to your house, so take good care of her. I mean, George would throw you right away if you don't, so it's not like you have a choice. I never would have expected my brother marrying an infertile woman to be this useful. There's no need for him to throw me away. I've already divorced him. What? What do you mean you've already divorced him? I turned in the necessary papers, so now we're officially divorced. I haven't felt this free in so long. I don't understand. George is saying that he has no idea what you're talking about. He's been using a signed divorce paper to blackmail me into doing what he wants me to. The same thing has been going on for a while, and it was starting to get annoying. So I just signed my part of the papers and turned them in. That doesn't count. He was just joking. Since when do people sign divorce papers as a joke? And no matter what you say it is, if you sign an official paper, then it automatically possesses power. I wanted to get the divorce done anyway, so I don't think there's an issue at all. So what if you do get divorced? You're just a useless part-time worker who doesn't have money or any skills. You wouldn't make it through a single month without George. I'll be fine. I was just officially hired full-time by the place that I was working part-time at. Wait, full-time? You got a job? Yep. I've already finished moving out of the house thanks to the tiny amount of savings that I had left. I'll be living in the company's dorm from now on, so your brother won't ever have to see me anymore. I have a job in my own place now, so I don't need him anymore. I mean, the legal procedures are complete, so we're legally strangers anyway. Wait, you already left your house? Then who's gonna look after Julia while I'm gone? You don't have to worry one bit about Julia. She's meeting up with someone who can take way better care of her than a complete stranger like me, right about now. She doesn't have any family nearby other than you. Of course she does. Someone who cares about her well-being more than you ever could. You know, the one last family member that isn't with you right now. You're bluffing. There's no way. That one last person is somewhere in Asia right now. There's no way he could just fly back here. In fact, he already told me that he wasn't coming back home until the end of this month. Well, I guess there was a change in plans because he told me that he took a paid leave and flew back here. What? But he never told me anything about that. Do you think you can just make him come back because you can't take care of Julia? How irresponsible are you? Me? Through the eyes of anyone who has a normal thought process, you're obviously the one who's irresponsible here. I'm not irresponsible. Well, I think your husband disagrees with you. Deeply. What's that supposed to mean? Well, I explained every single detail about what's been happening between us regarding Julia to your husband. Like, every single detail? Yep. Wait, how on earth do you know my husband's number? Remember the New Year's party that we had with the whole family? Yeah. Well, I asked him for his contact details during that party. You know, since I'd been looking after Julia for quite a while. I just thought that it would be good to have both of your contacts in case there was any type of emergency. At the time, I thought that your husband was just the same as you and your brother, and that he was fine with making me take care of your daughter as a way to patronize me for being infertile. But after you told me that he didn't know that I was being forced to do this, I decided to take a chance and reach out to him, to tell him what was really going on. Wait, so how much does he know? Everything there is to know. The fact that I'm not willingly taking care of his daughter, and that you've been forcing me to do your job as a mother, even on days when I should really be at work. I also told him in great detail about how you, your mother, and your brother have changed completely after finding out that I won't be able to have kids. The way that you all would use me like a maid, saying that that's the only thing I'm good for? You're joking. Nope. And I got a very long and sincere apology from him after telling him all of this. He apologized for believing everything that you told him instead of making sure for himself. My husband apologized to you? Yep. And after I told him that I'd made dinner for Julia many times but hadn't received any money for it, he handed me a pretty large sum of money, saying that it was for any unpaid compensation and expenses. What? He shouldn't be paying a single penny to you. The money that he earns belongs to our family. Give it back. Why don't you tell that to your husband? I'm sure the two of you will be having a long talk about money after this. I've heard that figuring out the whole thing about child support can be a hassle. Wait, what do you mean, child support? Well, I mean, you have children and you're getting divorced, so there will be some child support that you're going to have to pay. Divorce? What do you mean, divorce? This is your fault. My husband divorced me and took my child. He took everything from me. He's even saying that I'll have to pay him child support. What are you gonna do about this? He was the best option that I was ever going to find. What do you mean it's my fault? It sounds like all of this is the result of your own actions. Shut up! I've already told George, so he's going to have a long talk with you about this. I mean, I would love to have a long talk with George, but I've already blocked him, so that won't be happening. Wait, you blocked him? Yep. I just thought it would be easier for me to have my lawyer do everything, so I just sent him my lawyer's number and blocked him after that. Even though the divorce is done, we still have to discuss terms about how to divide the assets that we own and things like that. Besides, I'll be suing him for all of the verbal and mental harassment that he's dealt me about being infertile. So I'm gonna need a lawyer anyways. Wait, do you seriously think that you're in a place to be suing other people? Because you're dead wrong. We should be suing you, if anything. Well, I'm suing you along with your brother. Why? Do you not remember the countless times that you made me go through physical labor against my will? What physical labor? The physical labor of taking care of your daughter while you were out having fun. I'm not sure about how much I'll be able to get from you on this, but no one's getting away unbothered. Do you know what you're doing? I might get divorced from my husband. I won't be able to pay anything. Everything was going perfectly until you ruined it. Your own actions are what took away the trust that you once had from your husband. And I can say that with confidence because I can tell how deeply your husband loves your daughter, unlike you. What am I supposed to do now? I finally found someone who earns tons of money and isn't home most of the time. He was perfect. He told me that he was going to have you pay him back. Pay him back what? All of the money that you spent for yourself when it was really meant for Julia. Oh no. Please stop him. Why? Well, I kind of lied about some of the expenses that I said were for Julia's school clubs and other fees, and I used it to go out for lunch and buy things for myself. Great, I'll be sending a screenshot of what you just said to your husband. No! Wait, I'm just kidding. You told him that she was on the soccer team, volleyball team, swim team, and chess club, right? I can't wait until he finds out that Julia's only on the chess club, and that she never needed equipment for any sport. You took pictures of her during tryouts for those teams, and you're still using those pictures to lie, right? He's saying that he'll take every single cent and every single lie into account, and figure out how much he'll be suing you for. But my perfect plan! Look, I'm sure every parent has their ups and downs. But it's just wrong to see you use your own child to your advantage to get some extra money. That's just not acceptable. I'll be handing our whole conversation to your husband, so be prepared. Wait, please. Aren't you my older sister? I'm begging you, don't make things worse. Ellie, I can't go on a trip like this. Haley and her husband ended up getting divorced as warned, and as you could probably have guessed, her husband got the rights to Julia. After finishing the legal process, I heard that Julia moved to another country with her father. As announced, I sued my ex-husband and his sister for compensation. They both ended up losing against me and tried to rely on their parents for money. But they just ended up getting ridiculed by their parents and kicked out of their house. I guess I know where they got their amazing personalities from now. As of right now, I don't know or care about what the two are doing or where they are.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.